Gopijana Vallabha Girivarada Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivarada Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajacharan Yashodanandana Brajajanaranja Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranja Unatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Madhava Radha Madhava Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Satasi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Prem Se Kaho Se. Text 26 of Canto 6, Chapter 11. Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khagaha Stanyam Yatha Vatsataraha Kshud Arthaha Priyam Priya Eva Vyushitam Visa Anna Mano Aravindaksha Digdrikshate Tvam. Translation: O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service to you. Purport: a pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto Him. Examples given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied except when the mother bird comes to feed it. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's udder. And a chaste, devoted wife whose husband is away from home is never satisfied until she has the association of a beloved husband. Mamottama shloka janeshu sakhyam samsara chakre brahmatah swakarmabhi tvan mayayatmaja daragiheshu ashakta chittasya natha bhuyat. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, and I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. Shukadeva Goswami said, desiring to give up his body, Vrithrasura considered death in the battle preferable to victory. O King Parikshit, he vigorously took up his trident and with great force attacked Lord Indra, king of heaven, just as Kaitava had forcefully attacked the Supreme Personality of Godhead when the universe was inundated. Then Vrithrasura, the great hero of the demons, whirled his trident, which had points like the flames of the blazing fire at the end of the millennium. With great force and anger he threw it at Indra, roaring and exclaiming loudly, "O sinful one, thus shall I kill you." Flying in the sky, Vrithrasura's trident resembled a brilliant meteor. Although the blazing weapon was difficult to look upon, King Indra, unafraid, cut it to pieces with his thunderbolt. Simultaneously, he cut off one of Vrithrasura's arms, which was as thick as the body of Vasuki, the king of the serpents. Chinnaikabahu parighena vrittah samvratta asadya grihita vajram hanotate dandam hanotata dendram atamarebham vajram jahastan yapatan magonah. Although one of his arms was severed from his body, Vrithrasura angrily approached King Indra and struck him on the jaw with an iron mace. He also struck the elephant that carried Indra. Thus Indra dropped the thunderbolt from his hand. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We discussed yesterday how Vrithrasura is very glorious and he is a devotee, although in a demon's body. And the world is looking at him like a demon. The devas are all looking at him like a demon. And he has to face that title that he is a demon. But at heart, he is a devotee. And Indra is coming to know that this person is a devotee. He is not really a demon. He looks like a demon. He is designed like a demon. His bodily features are like a demon. But he is such a wonderful devotee. Indra is coming to know that. And Indra is also coming to know that I am a mixed devotee. And you will see further that this is the prayer of Vrithrasura to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is saying, I am very eager to serve you. I am not attached anymore to my wife, children and everything. His request is, I want to die and come back to you. He is looking forward to die. In the battlefield, he is looking forward to die. Why? Because after death, he knows he is going back to Godhead. So he is looking forward to die. So with that type of a feeling, if you fight, very happily you fight. Because even if I lose or if I win, I will definitely die and I'll go back. More than winning or losing, I really want to die. That's the thing Vrithrasura is thinking. That's why he is offering this prayer. So I'm not interested in anything more, anything, I want to die. So this is the type of blessing that Krishna has given him. That you will die killed by Indra, because that weapon will definitely kill you. Right? That weapon is the main thing. So he is looking at the weapon, keeping on telling Indra, use the weapon, because I want to die. Because when I die, I go back to Godhead. So that's why he is using this, just like a calf is very eager to suck the milk from the udder of the cow. Just like a wife is very eager, I am also very eager to die and come back to you. Waiting for this program, because I know Just like the calf knows I'm going to get the milk. Definitely I'll get the milk. It's just a matter of time. Just like the wife also knows I'm definitely going to see my husband, he'll come back now. And then it happens repeatedly, so I'll be very happy. In the same way, he is thinking that definitely Indra will take his weapon and he will strike it and I will die and I'll go back. I need to bother only about that. Why to mess around with anything to do with Indra? Let him take what he wants. Just that I want a quick fast forward so that I'll go back. That is his understanding. So this is the eagerness of a devotee to go back to Krishna. So he is renounced on the battlefield. Sukha dukkha same kritva labho alabho jaya ajayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Krishna is telling Arjuna, fight without the desire to win or lose. Labho alabho, whether you will gain something or you not gain something, whether you lose the battle or you win the battle. This way, in that mood, everything is under the control of the Supreme Lord. So what do I care? I just play my role. I just play my role. I just do my duty. Where Krishna has put me, in what garb he has put me, I will perform, but without any attachment. This is the ultimate in devotional service in the world. It's not that he is leaving the situation, running away. I am renounced. I am a sannyasi. I don't have to do all these things. But he has got a renounced mood and he is doing service for the Lord. Because the Lord wants me to do this now. Right? It's more important for me to please the Lord than to enact renunciation as per the scripture. That's important to know. Renunciation means don't do anything to please yourself, do everything to please the Lord. So, who told you that you should stop work? This is Krishna's argument to Arjuna. Renunciation means renounce the tendency to enjoy the fruits of the work. But nobody asks you to renounce action as such. You see, the deep internal thing, that should be renounced. Then you can do anything and everything under the sun for Krishna. Why not? Because it pleases Krishna. And that is the real business of renunciation. Vrithrasura here will advise Indra like that. He will actually, that is very interesting, maybe you should read that, I don't know where that is. Yeah. Having dropped the thunderbolt from his hand in the presence of his enemy, Indra was practically defeated and was very much ashamed. Indra dropped his thunderbolt. Actually, he cut off one arm of Vrithrasura. Then Vrithrasura is mentioned. He attacked with his other hand. He attacked Indra. And Indra dropped his ayuda. So he felt very ashamed. I am Indra and I dropped it. So Vrithrasura will tell him, I won't fight you now, you pick it up. Because for Vrithrasura, that ayuda is very important. I am not going to fight you now and kill you. Then how will you kill me with that ayuda? And that ayuda I have to die, then only I will go back to God. Which is very interesting. He will say, no, I'm not going to do anything to you now. Don't worry, it's okay. I mean, he like a very elder brother, he tells Indra, don't worry, pick it up. And all the demigods will be watching this thing because Vrithrasura is so huge a demon. He will swallow Indra actually in this. If I remember right, he will swallow Indra and Airavata, everybody together. In the end, when both his arms are cut, he will open his jaws and swallow. So huge he is. So he is somebody that Indra cannot defeat. But Indra is also depending on that ayuda, Dadichi's bones that is made of. So here you will see Vrithrasura He dared not pick up his weapon again. Vrithrasura, however, encouraged him, saying, "Take up your thunderbolt and kill your enemy. This is not the time to lament your fate." These dialogues are so sweet. Yuyit satam kutrachit adatyayinam jaya sadai katra nabai paratmanam vinaikam utpati laya stitiswaram sarvagyam adyam purusham sanatanam. Vrithrasura continued, "O Indra, no one is guaranteed of being always victorious but the original enjoyer, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. He is the cause of creation, maintenance and annihilation, and He knows everything. Being dependent and being obliged to accept material bodies, belligerent subordinates are sometimes victorious and sometimes defeated." He's telling Indra, take the weapon. Don't feel that you have lost against me. Don't feel bad. Take the weapon. So all living beings in all planets of this universe, including the presiding deities of all the planets, are fully under the control of the Lord. They work like birds caught in a net who cannot move independently. Our sensory prowess, mental power, bodily strength, living force, immortality and mortality are all subject to the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not knowing this, foolish people think the dull material body to be the cause of their activities. Yata darumayi nari yata patramayo mrigaha evam bhutani maghavan ishatantrani vidhibho. Asking Indra, as a wooden doll, O King Indra, as a wooden doll that looks like a woman, or as an animal made of grass and leaves cannot move or dance independently, but depends fully on the person who handles it. All of us dance according to the desire of the Supreme Controller of the Personality of Godhead. No one is independent. So, the three Purushas, Karanodakakshayi Vishnu, Garbhodakakshayi Vishnu and Kshirodakakshayi Vishnu, the material nature, the total energy, the false ego, the five material elements, the material senses, the mind, the intelligence and consciousness cannot create the material manifestation without the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A foolish, senseless person cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although always dependent, he falsely thinks himself the Supreme. If one thinks according to one's previous fruit of actions, one's material body is created by the father and mother, and the same body is annihilated by another agent, as another animal is devoured by a tiger. This is not proper understanding. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself creates and devours the living beings through other living beings. Just as a person not inclined to die must nonetheless give up his longevity, opulence, fame and everything else at the time of death, so at the appointed time of victory, one can gain all these when the Supreme Lord awards them by His mercy. So he is preaching to Indra on the battlefield. You can understand Indra's position. Vrithrasura has actually become a spiritual master. Has become the spiritual master of Indra. And he's encouraging him every time, just like Krishna told Arjuna, get up, fight. Get up, fight. And every time he loses, he tells him, get up, you fight, you use the ayuda, kill me. And he's speaking this philosophy, so Krishna conscious. And it looks like who is the Deva and who is the Asura. It's actually the other way around. The Deva is being preached to by the Asura and saying, you are supposed to be Deva, you are supposed to be inclined to Vishnu. Why are you forgetting Vishnu? You must remember him always. He is helping him to remember Vishnu on the battlefield. Helping him to remember God on the battlefield, telling him, pick it up, now fight. Don't worry. And then he is fighting. That's the best part of it. Then also he is fighting. He is fighting because we all have to do our duties. We all have to do our duties. So he fights. So this is a good lesson in learning. In Varnashrama, we are supposed to do for the sake of Vishnu. See, Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita that yoga karmashu kaushalam. The art of performing work is called yoga. Very wonderful definition. So nowhere yoga is only asanas and deep breathing, and yoga means so many different aspects. In the Bhagavad Gita is a very brilliant analysis Krishna gives. Yoga means renunciation, yoga means knowledge, yoga means doing work, yoga means devotional service, yoga means intelligence, buddhi yogam. So many nice definitions, a whole lot of things on the yoga ladder that you can see placed. All of them together are yoga. So yoga karmashu kaushalam means how to perform your work without getting entangled and make it dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there are a lot of challenges in order to do that. And when you do that, so to be intelligently doing that, that is the explanation given by Vrithrasura here. I have to fight, you have to fight. Vishnu has ordered you to use this and kill me. Go ahead and do it. And from my side I am doing what I am supposed to do, because my father has created me. Twashta has created me for a particular purpose. I am your enemy. So I am going to act like your enemy. I am going to fight you. But you go ahead and do. Don't stop. Do your duty. In this way he is telling him to do it, because I am also doing. And then Indra picks up that weapon and he cuts the other arm. First he cuts this arm. So he falls down. His arm falls down. It's mentioned his arm is like as big as, that snake. What is that snake? Vasuki. Vasuki's diameter. It's a very huge snake. So his arm was so big. It took a long time to cut. And the arm fell down his right. There'll be a beautiful picture of his, Vrithrasura. He was looking very wonderful when his arm had fallen down. And then Indra cuts the other arm also. The arm that threw the next. He cuts that arm also using the Dichi's weapon. He's able to do this fantastic feats only because he's got that weapon. And then he falls down. Vrithrasura falls down. And still he is talking to Indra. Still he is talking to Indra. And Indra feels very much for Vrithrasura. All of a sudden he starts feeling great sentiment for Vrithrasura. Why am I in this position that I have to do this? But I am the king of heaven. I am leading all the devas. They are all waiting for me to kill this asura. And I am in this role. So it's not a question of I like or I don't like. I must do it. As per Vrithrasura's, he gets inspired by Vrithrasura's role, his preaching and everything. So this is a very amazing dialogue on the battlefield. Normally Kshatriyas will shout at each other and say, you're a dog, you're a jackal. You will be finished now, and then all the vultures will eat you up. Just you wait, you get my arrow. Then the other person will say, this, that. You did this, you are a rascal of this stuff. They get angry and they fight. This is very different. Vrithrasura is preaching to Indra, get up, fight. Taunting him, teasing him, and making him fight. And while fighting, he's already telling, you're going to win anyway. But although he is going to win, Indra is feeling very bad. At the end of killing Vrithrasura, he feels even worse. He becomes very depressed. So all this happens to Indra after he has won the war. That's the best part of it. All this happens to Indra after he has killed Vrithrasura and won it, and all the devas are praising him. But he is feeling zero. Plus sin personified for having killed a Brahmana. Sin personified for having killed a devotee. He's a devotee and you killed him. All that also will chase him. But the devas will say, don't worry about all that, you do it. And we will do the needful, we know what to do. But although they said it, he had to face it. Sin personified in the form of a Chandala woman who's got tuberculosis and all dripping with blood and mucus will be chasing him. But an old lady will chase him. I am the sin personified, and Indra will run here and there across the whole creation, finally hide in Manasarovar lake in a lotus stem and all that. Agni will come and give him prasad. And for 1,000 years he will live like that. completely become depressed and totally lost, and his kingdom has lost everything. But Vrithrasura went back to God. In the meantime, for 1,000 years, Vrithrasura was enjoying Krishna consciousness. So what is loss and what is gain in this world, really? You see? What is gain? Gain is never anything to do with material possession. Gain is never anything to do with position. Gain is never that you won an argument over the other person. Gain at every time is, am I able to accomplish devotional service to please the Supreme Lord? That is the gain always. The only gain is working towards service that pleases the Lord, that pleases Vaishnavas, that pleases Guru, that pleases Prabhupada, that pleases Krishna. At every point of time, Tasyaiva heto prayate kovido. What does it know? That other shloka that says that for pleasing the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. What is the shloka? It's very famous. Prabhupada quotes it. Not that. Very famous shloka. No. Therefore, it's meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Yeah, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Haritoshana, satisfying the Supreme Lord. How does that shloka begin? Atat pumbir dudashreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha swanishtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Varnashrama and all these roles are meant to constantly, this is a very important point, but we just miss it. Whole of Varnashrama, anything is meant to please Vishnu. All your actions are meant to please Vishnu. So brilliantly Vrithrasura is doing it, saying it, and asking Indra also to do it. If we miss that point, anything and everything that we do, is it pleasing to the Supreme Lord? Is it pleasing to Vaishnavas? Is it pleasing to Guru? Is it pleasing to... This is very important. No, it's not that you perform out of false ego for your own benefit, for your own thrills, for your own satisfaction. That is not recommended. That's one of the most difficult things for devotees to do, especially in our neophytish stage, to actually do it for the pleasure of somebody else apart from you. Devotional service, are you doing for your pleasure or are you doing for Krishna's pleasure? A simple question. We have to ask ourselves always. Vrithrasura, his 2 arms are finished. Still he is telling Indra, you should go ahead. I will keep fighting you. He speaks these things. Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaiki. He speaks these things and he goes ahead and fights Indra. And he tells him, they're both having a very good Krishna conscious conversation which Indra is very interested in. He's hearing and he's understanding also. But in between he said, we have to fight also. When I fight, you should not look at me in any other way. So our Krishna conscious relation has nothing to do with our material designations and our duties that we need to do. Both can continue parallelly. Sometimes devotees completely translate their material situation or their roles in, say, in the institution of ISKCON. There is management that we need to do. There is leadership roles, and you have to take decisions for the sake of the society. And there may be difference of opinion with another person. And that person will translate that to mean something to do with my relationship with you. The institutional thing or Varnashrama stuff or work that we need to do, we need to execute it as per the rules and regulations. That cannot be compromised for the sake of my spiritual relationship I have with you. That is different, this is different. We are all trying to endeavor to please Krishna. And I appreciate what you are doing. You appreciate what I am doing. According to my ability, I am doing something. According to your ability, you are doing something. According to the karma situation you are in. According to the varnashrama situation you are in. You are doing your best. Each one is doing what he can. And he must do. But that should not bring about a difference in our relationship, which is based on Krishna in the center. This is maturity. When a person has to execute his duty, I remember once when Guru Maharaj was here and there was a commotion here very long back. Some complaints and this and all false rumors and some complaints. And there was a meeting. I don't know if some other senior devotees you remember. At one point of time, somebody said that if you do like this, then we will do like that. Then Guru Maharaj said, if you do like that, we will give police complaint and arrest you. He is speaking to an initiated devotee. We will be forced to, as an organization, to give a police complaint and they'll come and arrest you. And the devotee was very stunned. Now he is speaking as an organizational person, as a leader. He said, if you do that, the organization will react like this. And you have to take it. To protect the organization, we have to do certain things. It's got nothing to do with you and me. But I have to play my role as a person who has to secure the organization. So I have to say some things. But if you are so immature, you cannot understand it, what can we do? What can we do? So they run in parallel. I have to have the maturity to understand. So sometimes devotees are not too mature. So when they are asked to perform as per rules and regulations, as per needs, as per the statutory requirements and all that, they take it very differently. I know of senior devotees here who, when I used to initially come and tell you have to make a petty cash voucher for expenses, they'll say, you don't trust me? You are asking me to write down and record. I say, no, that's the way. No, I don't do that. You have to trust what I say. That I have spent this money for this. It's okay, put it in the petty cash voucher. No, you're asking me to put it because you want me to give it in writing. I'll not give it in writing. I said, no, this is the accounts requirement. So from all levels to all levels, maturity in life means that I am performing for the satisfaction of Krishna. And even when I spoke rules and regulations, it's for the satisfaction of Krishna. It's not for me to exercise power and control over somebody else and derive any satisfaction. So if we are not like that, then we suffer the reactions for that. In the particular positions you are in, if you don't use it properly for serving Krishna, you also suffer reactions for that. Even in devotional service. In the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, in the Vidura's pastime, he writes about governing body commissioners, GBCs, have to be very careful in how they judge and pass decisions. Otherwise they will suffer reactions for it. He writes that in the Bhagavatam, for taking wrong decisions and judgments and doing things. Something like that. I am paraphrasing it. So everybody has got, it's like Indra is suffering reactions for killing Vrithrasura, killing Vishwarupa and doing all, but he is Indra, king of heaven, he has to do it. And he has also to suffer it. And then all the devas are saying, we'll help you, they'll do this, Ashwamedha Yajna and all, they did and purified him. But he had to go through it as a leader. So we should never think that we don't have certain roles to play because we have become devotees. That will not happen to me. It will happen to you. You have to act responsibly. Like Vrithrasura is acting very responsibly, asking Indra to act responsibly. Vrithrasura, with both his arms down, he will still fight because he is not yet dead. So he'll turn around, then put his jaws on the ground and then extend his jaw like this, so big, and then swallow Indra and Airavata. I have not yet stopped fighting, I am not dead. He'll swallow, suck them inside. The big elephant Airavata and Indra and everybody go inside this. And then as soon as he swallows them, it's mentioned here, he said, finished, I have done my duty, now I can rest in peace. Indra is killed. That's what I'm supposed to do now. Indra is killed and he went into a trance, ready to pass away. Now he'll die. But from inside, Indra did not die. From inside his body. Indra inside used the weapon and cut out of his abdomen and came out. Came out of his abdomen, cutting it. And then he came and cut his neck. It took 1 year to cut his neck. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. What a thick neck it must be. With the Dadiji weapon, it took 1 year to cut the neck alone. Because he can't protest now, his tummy is open, his guy doesn't have 2 arms, only thing he has legs, and that is not very active, so he cut. But by the time Vrithrasura had already gone into a trance and gone back. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam so beautifully. So he cut the neck, and while he was doing, Indra was not at all very happy. He was not very happy. You see, you can do the great successful thing. You can be very famous, but if inside you can't enjoy it, you are condemned. So for most devotees, enjoying anything material, after knowing that it is not really good, they feel very guilty trying to enjoy it. Enjoyment is spoiled actually. You can't materially enjoy if you really understand Krishna consciousness. Even if it comes and stands in front of you, you cannot enjoy it. Really not possible if you are deeply Krishna conscious, that is. So, actually, even enjoyment is not possible. So, Vrithrasura, he, although destroyed, he went back to Godhead. He remained in a trance, went back to Godhead. But Indra was alive and around, killing his dead body and then suffering the results of that. So we can learn so many lessons from these things in our practical devotional life. How we should conduct ourselves and what is the mentality we should have. That is how one becomes a devotee. The change required is inside, how you think. And the thinking should come from what you believe in, what you're convinced about. When you're convinced about, I am not this body and spirit soul, when you're convinced that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, all these are statements given in Bhagavad Gita, not for us to just mug up the shloka and repeat it alone. To reflect on it. When you say, Bhoktaram Yajñatapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam, Gyattvamam Shantim Richati, pregnant with lot of meaning. I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Why is Krishna making this statement? Which means not you, I am the enjoyer. Don't try to enjoy, it will result in misery for you. Materially don't enjoy. Your enjoyment is, like we discussed yesterday, Praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. When you serve me, you get so immense enjoyment. That enjoyment is so great that even I want to come and enjoy that. You do not know what you are capable of enjoying. It's even greater than what I can enjoy. And I come and take a role as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to enjoy that. Service to the Supreme is such a great enjoyment. Fulfilling enjoyment. We don't get fulfillment in this material world even if we satisfy our desires. Fulfillment is very important. Do you feel fulfilled and happy? Sometimes we do, temporarily. And immediately we are unfulfilled. Somebody will do something to you. And then immediately you get disturbed. Fulfillment, completely happy is what Vrithrasura had. Fighting in the battlefield, he passed away in fulfillment. I am going back to Godhead. I have done what I am supposed to do according to the Lord's desire. I am sure He is pleased. My 2 arms are cut. My abdomen is thrown open. What more I have with me? I am not having any possessions. It's all for Indra. I am just eager to go back and serve Krishna. He was fulfilled. Only Krishna consciousness devotional service can fulfill you. Even in the smallest of devotional service we do, there is a certain internal happiness, a fulfillment that you can feel very slightly because our consciousness is pretty much dull. But you can feel that. a little service I was able to do. That taste for service is what moves the soul ahead in devotional service. Everybody is eager to do something for Krishna and offer it to Krishna without any proprietorship over the results. I am happy if it is a service that is benefiting many people. Whether I am recognized for it or not doesn't matter, because I know Krishna recognizes it. Otherwise, why am I feeling satisfied and fulfilled? The fulfillment, tripti, that tosha that is speaking about. Krishna is happy and satisfied, only then can you be satisfied and happy. So that's a reward. There's a very subtle feeling inside. Vrithrasura was full of that from the beginning. Indra did not get that. So although he was performing service, he went through so many problems. Because deep inside, he wants to occupy the position. He wants to go back to status quo. He's stuck to it. He wants to be in that position and enjoy what he's supposed to enjoy. So therefore he's not happy. He's not really happy. And you can see that. We will read further a little bit. Beautiful, very beautiful shlokas. Unfortunately, we are finishing it in 2 sessions. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, Vrithrasura and King Indra spoke about devotional service even on the battlefield. And then, as a matter of duty, they again began fighting. My dear king, both of them were great fighters and were equally powerful. O Maharaj Parikshit, Vrithrasura, who was completely able to subdue his enemy, took his iron club and whirled it round and aimed it at Indra and then threw it at him with his left hand. I already told you that. When the demigods along with Brahma and other Prajapatis and other saintly persons saw that Indra had been swallowed by the demon, they became very morose. Alas, they lamented, what a calamity, what a calamity. When Vrithrasura was killed, the Gandharvas and Siddhas in the heavenly planets beat kettle drums, etc. O King Parikshit, subduer of enemies, a living spark then came forth from Vrithrasura's body and returned home back to Godhead. While all the demigods looked on, he entered the transcendental world to become an associate of Lord Sankarsana. Victorious. Who is really victorious? You see? So, sometimes definitions for all these things, we take it in a different way even in Krishna consciousness. But understanding deeply, victory means being able to satisfy Krishna, satisfy Prabhupada, satisfy Guru, satisfy Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas whose intention is just to actually serve the Lord. Then we can say we are victorious. Whatever the rest of the world may say, if everybody in the world says something opposite, and if Krishna accepts your service, you are victorious. Everybody is against Vrithrasura. He is a demon. All the demigods are happy when he dies. It's mentioned. They are all beating their kettle drums and all that. So it shows that they are as good as Indra in terms of their understanding. You see, in this material world, everybody gets happy about the wrong things. And everybody wants to be part of it because they feel them, safe. But it is Vrithrasura alone on the battlefield who has really satisfied Krishna very much. Not that Indra is not satisfied. He is also satisfied and he has done the needful, many things. But Vrithrasura is super in terms of his execution and understanding. Although a demon, he has done this. Similarly, Prahlad did. Similarly, Bali Maharaj did. Although born in demon bodies, they did the best of services to Krishna. It clearly shows that our material condition has got nothing to do with what we can offer to Krishna. Whenever we want in any situation, Krishna consciousness is inside out. We can temper ourselves with proper understanding And under any dire circumstances and situation, we can purely offer to the Lord our service. Because it's between you and Krishna. What do you want it to be? That is always the question. What do you want it to be? So, Vrithrasura's glorious passing away is questioned by Parikshit and said, how is it possible for a demon to be a devotee like this? So brilliant, the things that Vrithrasura says on the battlefield and how Indra is actually wanting to listen to it. He's enjoying it, listening to it, because it's about devotional service. And he even praises Vrithrasura for saying these things. But then he attacks Vrithrasura again, and Vrithrasura attacks him. So he's asking Parikshit, how is it possible? It's a very odd combination. So Parikshit explains, Shukadeva Goswami explains, you don't know the history of Vrithrasura. He is a devotee from the past. So it means that once you are a devotee, you can never wipe it out. You can be even in a demon's body. You can even do demoniac things externally for the sake of satisfying the duties of a demon. But you can be a devotee. So bhakti is so brilliantly different from everything else in this world that only Krishna can relate with you. Because in the previous times he was Chitraketu. You know the story of Chitraketu, King Chitraketu, who had 10 million wives and no children. So he was the saddest person on the earth. And Angira Muni comes and then he gets a blessing, and then he said the child will become the cause of your greatest misery and the greatest happiness. He said, never mind, I just want a child. So although it was not really destined to have children, by Angira Muni's blessing, he gets child, and that boy dies because of the other wives getting envious, and they took away that boy's life. And in this way, Narada Muni and Angira Muni give lessons to Chitraketu. Chitraketu is devastated, and he brings the boy back to talk to his father. And the boy says, who are you? I don't know, so many fathers, so many mothers I've had. Why are you calling me back? And Chitraketu gets a shock of his life. And then Narada Muni chooses this to preach to Chitraketu and said, here is a mantra I'm giving you, chant, and completely absorb yourself. He absorbs himself, becomes a devotee. And he becomes a devotee of Anantasesh, Sankarsana, and he revels in great enjoyment. And then he sees one day Lord Shiva and Parvati traveling, and Shiva is keeping Parvati on the lap, and all the demigods are around, they are all talking together. So he says, look at Lord Shiva, what a great devotee he is. He can keep Parvati on his lap and he's still not like that. He made a devotional comment actually, but that angered Parvati very much. What does he think he is? Who is he to talk like this about Lord Shiva? So she cursed him, saying that for a comment like this, you are fit to be born in a demoniac family and suffer like this. So he did not say anything. He paid obeisances to Parvati, and he told her, whatever you say, you are my senior, you are my superior. If you so desire that this should happen to me, I accept my fault, I accept it. Very humbly he accepted that. And Lord Shiva tells his wife, Swarga pavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshinaha narayana parayana sarve na kutaschana bibhyati. He is not afraid of your curse. He is a devotee. Na kutaschana bibhyati, no fear. Swarga apavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshina. You throw him in hell, you throw him in heaven, he will remain happy serving Krishna. That is that person who has come as Vrithrasura. So, okay, I am in a demon's body, I will do what I am supposed to do. Nobody is going to spoil my relationship with Krishna, the enjoyment I get out of serving him. meditating on Him, being absorbed in Him. It's nobody's wealth. Nobody can take that away from me. Externally, I can do anything, what is requested of me. So that is Vrithrasura. Chitraketu's history is explained. Right? So all of us have histories behind us, our different lifetimes. They are not playing now. And they may not be something very significant like Vrithrasura's past. For some of us, they may not be worth. But it is important for us in our evolvement of Krishna consciousness through many, many lifetimes that we are in this point of accepting Krishna consciousness in this way, and still many of the material attachments, conceptions, realities which we think are real are still deeply embedded in us. And our Krishna consciousness maybe is just about trying to show some little light. But Vrithrasura is brightly Krishna conscious, even though he is in a demon's body. Everything he speaks is Krishna consciousness. It's the meaning of a pure devotee. So there's a long way to go. And there's a lot of things to be achieved. It's available for the asking, for the doing, for those who desire it sincerely. So all the time our effort should be how to actually achieve pure devotional service. What is required, what I must do, what I should chip off, what I should take away. Right? At the same time, not compromise on the things that we are supposed to do in this lifetime, within this body, without compromising. So that is what is yoga karma kaushalam. Art of performing work without flaying any particular rule and regulation. Varnashrama's rules, I don't spoil it. This rules, this expectations I don't, but I also execute devotional service. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question or comment? Yeah.
Very wonderfully explained about various qualities that we derive from Vrithrasura and also from Indra. And you gave good analogy of management aspects and devotional aspects. My doubt is, Maharaj, here is a person maybe sincerely doing seva for the Lord, doing for the management and other things. When it comes to the management or when he is supposed to ask something, it seems to be like holding him, and he might feel like, oh, what is this I am doing for the Lord and for the welfare of the management. So, but still, we are hearing comments like this. We will be asked questions or things. That may even make the person who is doing the seva very sincerely, even for the management and for the Lord, for the moment. So, how we can actually manage or balance these two kind of things?
By being mature. I mentioned it. The saga of conditioned souls is what you spoke about. Both sides are immature, so you have to suffer it. By suffering it, you become mature. When you suffer immaturity and sincerely desire, then you get blessed with some brains and intelligence by Krishna. Then you graduate yourself into higher maturity. Till then you will blame everybody around you, especially your authority you will blame, because of you only. So, we have the thankless job of training people to gradually understand that you are the reason, you are the architect for your own problems. It's because of lack of Krishna consciousness. It's lack of maturity. We don't like to accept that because we are in constant denial about these things. No, I did it correctly. No, it's his problem. No, it's not me. As long as you keep doing this, it will take longer time. Maturity means clearly seeing, yeah, I could have done this like this. This is the right way to do it. I must go and accept. When you publicly state, this is where I went wrong and I got cheated by Maya and I did this. I'm sorry. I want to do this properly. You will be bound to do it. When you don't tell it thinking that don't tell anybody because it's, spoil my name, then you get yourself stuck in another circle of Maya. So the best way to fight Maya is to make it known openly, this is what happened. And this is what I thought. Sincerely tell it. Then your progress next. Maya will be in a different position to give you any trappings. So maturity means understanding these mechanics. Krishna explains about 5 factors, and the 5th factor, Daivam Chaivatra Panchama. And then Krishna goes ahead to describe that motivators of action, knowledge, object of knowledge and the knower. Then he goes further to say, in the 18th chapter, very nicely he describes this. He describes about the senses and all of them being the main performers. And he says each one of them under the 3 gunas will create a different situation. So it's a very, action is a very deep and complicated subject matter. Right? So when you talk about doing and he's telling and I am telling and you doing, it's not actually just that. If you want to analyze it in terms of Sankhya philosophy, it is something very deep. Best is to analyze it in terms of devotional service. Just be humble. Try to execute it. If you cannot, you will have to suffer. For lack of maturity, for lack of Krishna consciousness, you have to suffer. That suffering will give pain. Because of that pain, you will surrender properly. Krishna is teaching you. He is actually teaching you. If you don't, you can't get out. It's not much actually. It's not much. The amount of pain that you have suffered for so many janmas is nothing compared to that. This pain is very less, just false ego pain. It's a pain of false ego. Very subtle. Everything belongs to me. Does that pain. Give it up. Gradually give it up. It's better. It's difficult, but give it up. That's what Vrithrasura is saying. Why is Vrithrasura lying down like this on the battlefield? Not because he has lost. Not because his false ego has been pounded to death. No. It's because he's a devotee. And he is glorious. He is glorious. He is not hurt inside in one single dent has not happened on him. But his body may be destroyed. But in terms of his personality as a devotee, nothing has happened to him. Nothing has happened to him. Right? But we are battered inside because of false ego battery. So understand that. Any other question? Comment or question? Om Tat Sat Srila Prabhupada Ki